And welcome once again to another episode of Stu Him Productions Presents
J&M, Solve the World. I am James.
And I am Matt. And with us once again is our illustrious special guest, Ray Ray!
I've been waiting for the crickets. And
He survived. He survived last week and was able to make it here tonight.
as
I mean,
Matt and James were talking,
is that a good thing?
I threw up the what we call the moose, antlers. Sorry, had to.
Some women call him Bullwinkle. We're not sure why.
Well,
Because he's got a little friend. He's got a little friend named Rocky.
Maybe
A little squirrel.
a little squirrel.
Well,
Squirrel. Squirrel.
Squirrel.
where?
Tonight.
Right there. Squirrel right there.
We didn't really have
Big
a
bushy tail. That long, that wide. Found it right there. Sorry.
we didn't really have a subject tonight until we were talking in the other room, and Matt got kind of excited about the whole Bud Light and Kid Rock controversy.
Well, I mean, okay, here's the deal. Anheuser-Busch is the sponsor of your tour. Mm-hmm. Okay? Meaning Anheuser-Busch is paying you money to go out on tour and to play your music. They're paying the bill for the venues,
Right.
the advertising, and whatnot. And you've got a problem with somebody's picture being on the can.
Right.
Whether that's a transgender, whatever, but you've got a problem with it. So you're going to post a video of you, hey man, look at that Bud Light there. Clickety clack. Boom!
Yeah.
Now, I can tell our tens of listeners right now,
Are going, what the fuck?
there are two people in this room that if a drag show wanted to sponsor us to go on tour, I guarantee we would fucking
Rock and roll, brothers.
we would jump at that chance. What? Oh, you've got a couple drag queens that can play drums and rhythm guitar? Fuck
Sing
yeah.
a little bit.
I mean,
Fuck yeah.
let's look at the big picture here.
Yeah.
Okay. There's the big controversy in the state I used to live in
Uh-huh.
about drag shows and children.
Right. Yeah.
Now, every drag show that I've ever been to and or
Have you
seen
been to a lot
advertised-
of drag shows?
No, I've been to one.
Oh, okay.
But they're held
Well, you
at.
said every drag
Yeah.
show you've been to.
But I mean, they're
I mean, we got a calendar.
I mean, we do. It was Halloween,
It
though.
was Halloween.
But, the thing is, they're held at bars
Right.
or at clubs to where you have to be 21 to get in.
Exactly.
You're paying admission to come into that drag show.
Right.
Now,
If you don't want to see it, don't buy a fucking ticket.
it's like the CDs back in the 80s with the PMRC.
Best thing that ever happened to the music industry.
Exactly. I was getting ready to say that,
You're
but
not-
Whatever they labeled fucking CDs.
Tipper Gore,
God bless her. I mean,
she helped out
the heavy metal community would
Metal
not have
community.
sold as many albums as they did.
with her saying, "Oh, we need to, do this, blah blah
We
blah blah
need
blah
to
blah blah
ban
blah
this or
Well,
blah blah blah.
We need to put stickers on it.
Well, they was going to
And
ban it.
that was the best thing that she ever did or said or whatever she was.
Well, she didn't get what she wanted to accomplish. She wanted to ban everything.
Well, but
they
she
said
helped
no.
out the metal community.
Right. They said we can't ban this, but we can put a label on it that tells. It's just like a movie rating.
Right.
When we were kids, which movie you go to the multiplexes that we had back in the day? It's like
The 3 theaters, the 3 screens.
3 or 4, or I mean, hell, the mall had 6.
Yeah, yeah.
Back
Very
then,
true.
you
Very
know.
true.
But it's like, which movie are you going to go to? The PG? Oh, there's an R-rated movie. Let's go to that one. Same thing happened with the labeling, it's like parental advisory, language, and blah, 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 blah. I mean, hell, back in the day, I'd look at a metal CD or a hard rock CD or whatever, tape. I should go back that far. And if it didn't have a fucking parental advisory sticker on it, I'm like, eh.
No, I don't
Yeah.
want it.
Next.
You
Yeah.
know.
But I mean, it's that thing is when you start labeling things, when you start putting that parental advisory sticker, when you start
Right.
making a movie an R or an NC-17 or even a PG-13, a PG-13, you're a little...
That's kind of, I mean, there did used to be PG-13. It was PG and it was R.
Right. And then if it was more hardcore than R, it got that X.
Right.
And then that's limited distribution.
Well, I was watching a video on Hulu the other night. It's called "The History of Nudity in Movies."
Okay.
The X rating was initially started. It was actually a rating, and I think Urban Cowboy was actually an X-rated movie.
Really?
Yes, or not Urban Cowboy. It had Peter Fonda. This stuff. It was back in the 70s.
But there wasn't Easy Rider, was it?
No.
Okay.
No, but there was enough nudity in it that they give it an X rating.
Right.
But then the porn industry started going, oh, well, okay. So they started rating everything X, double X, triple X, which really didn't have anything to do with the movie rating
Right.
system.
Right.
It's kind of like Kill Bill. And was it Kill Bill 2 where she goes into Ebro Shai's and the ADH came in and she slaughtered all of them, and it goes to black and white.
Yes.
And the reason it went to black and white, because if it would have stayed color with all the blood, it would have been an X rated.
Right.
And they're like going, we need to stay off of that, you know.
Right. And it's, a lot of directors are trying to stay away from the NC-17 rating because
because porn kind of fucked that up for everybody else, because it was like, oh, we're X or triple X and whatever. But you could have Tarzan with Bo Derek. She was fucking naked through the whole goddamn movie almost.
And that wasn't
it wasn't a porn. No.
NC-17 or an X or...
But you go back to Caligula.
Well, now that's a...
That was an X-rated movie, but it was not a porn movie.
Right.
There's a lot of porn shit going on.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever seen that movie or not.
No, but it sounds like a movie I need to see.
Malcolm McDowell.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah. And
but there is the Imperial version of Caligula, which Bob Guccione is directing the... Oops.
Look
Sorry
out.
about that.
Look out. Calm down.
Okay. Bob Guccione of Penthouse
Right.
is doing the Imperial version.
What was the CD version or the DVD?
Caligula.
What was the DVD version that you let us borrow? Was that the Imperium version or was that the original version?
I don't know. I don't remember that, but
Because parts of it's like, it's cool. It was like, oh no, I don't need to see another guy sucking another guy's dick. But that was the Roman Empire back then.
Yeah.
The Imperial version of Caligula, DVD. There's, this version, and then this one was by Bob Guccione of Penthouse Magazine.
Okay.
And it is not for, youngins or
Teenagers.
or maybe a select
I'd say the version I seen
Or
was
a-
probably not for most people unless they were pretty level-headed.
or a select
I mean, it wasn't
parents.
a hustler porn type video. It wasn't a devil's. Well, no, I mean, actually, I seen the original version of Devil and Mrs. Jones. It was kind of on par with that, or the original Alice in Wonderland, the porn video.
But the
Forrest and his Gump.
I'd never seen that one.
imperial version of
Or Forrest Hump, if you will.
Forrest Hump, yeah.
damn it.
Have you seen Palin? What was that first one? Everybody does Palin or something like that. It was just about Sarah Palin.
Well, I mean, okay, so
This is not the Brady's.
no. So the first adult film, if you will, that I remember being a spoof was Rambone.
The first porn movie I ever saw, and this was back when they had porn theaters.
Oh, they still do
Well,
in certain areas.
right. But this was in Springfield.
Oh, wow.
And I'm going to do a shout out to my buddy, Jack Gates. You said we never shout you out, but I'm going to shout you out. And Dario Segui and Brian Cooper. And we went to a place called The Studio. I think it was off of South Camel. And we watched a movie called Charlie.
Oh.
I was kind of disappointed it wasn't like all the other. I mean, the previews were better,
Right.
but you know,
Well, I mean, there are some weird things that happen in porn theaters.
oh yeah.
I mean,
This was a full blown theater.
right.
This was. I mean, it wasn't a little hole like
Right.
your sex stores with your one little seat and you pop a quarter in every time. No, I mean, this was a theater. You paid X amount of dollars, and
There
you
wasn't
watched
a hole in the wall
No,
that-
you watched a full length movie and
Right next door to a adult
a gift store, right?
gift
A
store.
hotel.
The hotel. Well, that
that
too.
sold videos
A motel
and,
that rented by the hour.
and
Right.
toys or whatever.
But I mean, okay, American Werewolf in London.
All right.
The final scene.
They're at a porn theater. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm not going to lie. I want to go to London and I want to go to Piccadilly Circus
Right.
and I want to get a picture in front of that theater
Right.
because the theater is still there.
Is it still there?
Whether it's a porn theater, I don't know.
Right.
But the theater is still there. You know, and it's you got that the scene there. I don't know what movie it was.
Right.
It doesn't really matter.
Right. It was something late 70s, early 80s.
I
There were
mean,
some big old titties in that scene.
there was, which
Yeah.
for the time period was different. But I mean, you know, you had I'm a pepper, you're a pepper, she's a pepper, he's a pepper. Would you like to be a pepper too? Be a pepper too.
Who knew?
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was his commercials after the movie.
No, before.
Was it before?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
right.
those
That's
were
right. That's
before.
right. Yeah.
But you know, it had that movie had some of the best makeup,
No.
and
For the time, the special effects was just.
even now, you go back and you look at American Werewolf in
because
London.
now they do everything with CGI.
Right?
That was special effects.
Yes.
It's kind of like The Thing
Yes.
back in that same time period with Kurt Russell and everything. I mean, they built that shit. You know, it wasn't
Right.
a computer and blah 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 blah.
And I mean, it was believable when you seen the hair, quote unquote, grow.
Right.
But what they did is they reversed the camera.
Right.
But you know, the zombification of his friend. You know, speaking of makeup, back to the original topic. In the movie To Wong Fu,
Right.
with love, Julie Newmar,
Right.
Patrick fucking Swayze looks like the girl next door that you grew, the lady you grew up next to, living out in the country, who baked cookies and everything like that.
And John Leguizamo looked like that little hot Latino chick.
Yeah. And
That you didn't know if she was a badass.
you didn't know whether she was going to pull a razor out of her titties.
Exactly.
I'm
And
not
Wesley,
seeing that movie.
oh my God.
No. I've been a sheltered child.
Obviously. Wesley Snipes,
Go from there.
he
The
looked
delt-
like the type kid.
The delts were a little big.
But I mean,
Them shoulders were a little.
yeah. But
On who's
reminded
Snipes?
me
Yeah.
of
Snipes
some
was fucking
of
ripped.
reminded me of some strong black women
Right.
that I have seen on screen and or in person. And I mean,
But you know, if that movie would have been released today, even though you got three of the biggest stars in Hollywood, and they were at the time,
yes, they were.
there would be so much of a shit show
Oh,
about
yeah,
them
yeah,
dressing in
right,
drag.
You know.
Because they're not real trans people.
Right.
They were playing
Or,
trans people.
well, you don't have to be trans to dress in drag.
Correct.
I mean,
But they're not part of the alphabet
well,
crew.
they'd be getting shit on the far left and the far right. The far left would be like, oh, well, they're not true trans people. And the far right would be like, what are these queers doing? And,
Right.
you know, it'd just be all
there's
fucked up.
There's no gray
Right.
in between them.
Right.
You know, but I mean, it's there's plenty of
Well, how about
people that dress in drag
how about,
that are not
oh, fuck, what
same
was it?
sex.
Kurt Russell
Yeah.
dressed like a woman to get on the back of a bike to escape a scene. That was that in Tango and Cash?
probably.
I think it was.
Don't mind me.
They were in a bar and shit was coming down on them.
What the hell?
I'm just listening. Don't mind
You're
me.
talking about Kurt Russell dressing in drag, and Ray over here is all like he wants to see the former Mouseketeer in a short leather skirt.
He may have to fight off his wife. To get to Kurt Russell, Miss and
Goldie
I'm drawing
Hawn?
off Goldie Hawn, yes.
Yes.
I think Goldie would kick his ass.
I do too.
Okay.
But now here's the question though.
Of course,
Start moving your
especially
time.
if she done a hook or Rana and sat on his face, he'd be done. I'd be done. I'm sorry.
Goldie Hawn walk up to Ray. She's doing the finger of death, a la Hulk Hogan, Kevin Nash.
Yep,
Oh, he's fucking.
he's dead.
But unlike Kevin Nash, he's not going to do the whole flop down. No, he's a sack of potatoes.
Right.
Okay.
Just hoping she'll sit on his face to cover him.
Right.
Starting me with a good time.
But I mean, here's the thing. Actors are actors.
Right.
Plain and simple. Performers are performers. If you're going to perform a certain way that you are separating your performance persona from your actual person.
Right.
Oh, he's wiping the sweat.
No, keep
I thought he was like trying to wipe his hair back or something. I'm like, what the fuck?
I'm good. You know, keep talking.
But
keep talking.
okay,
I still have
if-
illusions of long hair.
yeah. If the persona and the person are two different people, and
Right.
they know that they're two different people, you cannot persecute the performer. I mean,
You know, back.
Robert Downey Jr. was playing a man who was playing a man who was playing a black man.
Right.
I'm
Well, you know, and
Taco Thunder.
Cranston, or what's his first name? Cranston, who done that movie with God damn it, Kevin Hart, where he plays
Bob Cranston.
who plays a quadriplegic.
Oh yeah.
He caught shit over that because he's not a real quadriplegic. I'm like, it's like you said, you're acting.
Right.
Now, John Wayne as Genghis Khan, that's a fucking stretch.
Right, but
But like on
is it right? No, but the time period.
time period, right? Yeah. I mean, you can't go back.
You can't change the past.
You can't take the way things are today and go back to the back and say, oh, well, we'd have never done that. No. If you were white in the 1700s, you'd have probably been for slavery.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't give a fuck what you say today.
Right.
That's just the way it was. It doesn't mean you're a bad person. We evolved.
Right.
You know, and if you go back and you critique, I mean, okay, let's go back and critique every song lyric ever written. I mean, Winger would be put in prison now for She's Only 17.
I mean, okay.
You know?
Right.
Or Kiss
As-
would be put in prison for
Christine 16.
Christine 16.
Okay, so in the immortal words of Dave Mustaine, hindsight is always 20/20, but looking back, it's still a bit fuzzy. So, I mean,
Mutually assured destruction.
You can't-
Nice story till it's Reader's Digest. Oh,
you can't change the past.
right.
You should not erase the past.
You should learn from the past.
That is why the past is there.
Right.
Now, unfortunately, the history books are written by winners, not the losers. So
I guarantee you, if you read a history book that was written by the Comanches, it'd be a whole lot different than our story
right.
of the Comanches.
Those of us Gen X and newer, or hell, even the late boomers and newer, we don't know what it was like to live in the 1912s, the 1910s.
Right.
We don't know what it was like
No.
during the revolution.
Right.
We don't know what it was like living during this, that, and the other.
Right.
A lot of us Gen Xers don't know what it was like to live during the civil rights movement. We may have been
Right.
born, but we were way too young.
Right. I always see was the riots and
Right.
stuff on the news.
Right.
And I remember the 1972 Olympics.
Okay.
I-
How old were you?
72. I was born in 66, so do the math.
You were 6.
So
Ish.
Ish.
Yeah. 5 or 6.
I was October, so I'd have been 5 or 6.
Yeah.
So I had just watched Planet of the Apes.
Yep.
You know, it was a cool movie, right? Right?
Get your hands off me, you damn dirty apes.
And then on the news, it comes
As
out.
said by Charlton Heston, not by us.
Right. But then on the news, there comes this flash. Gorillas have taken this plane in Munich, Germany. Well, As a 5-6-year-old, I heard gorillas had taken a plane in Munich, Germany.
And you're thinking, oh, wait a
And
minute.
I'm thinking, I
Planet
just
of the
watched
Apes.
Planet of the Apes. This shit is real?
Right.
What the fuck?
Right.
And then I found out later it was the PLO, and,
Right.
and they killed
But I mean,
all the Jewish team,
Different type
you know.
of gorillas.
Right,
young minds, it's like watching Jaws.
right.
May not have been for you because you were older, but
Oh, Jaws scared the fuck out of me.
watching
I
Jaws,
seen it at the theater when I was, 75, so I'd have been 8, 9 years old.
even seeing Jaws on video cassette, I did not want to go visit my grandparents at the lake to
Right.
go swimming because,
Because as soon as you see that water, you're going, doo-doo.
yeah, I couldn't distinguish Martha's Vineyard and saltwater from the difference of Lake of the Ozarks.
Right.
Now I go to Bass Pro Shop to the museum in Springfield, and I see the size of some of those fucking fish they pull out of Bagnell Dam
Right.
in Lake of the Ozarks.
Right.
And it's like, why the fuck couldn't a shark live here?
Right.
Those fucking fish are huge.
That big ass alligator gar and those big ass
Right.
fucking catfish that can
Oh.
swallow a man. Yeah.
God,
Fuck
yeah.
that.
Right.
But there's certain things that change us, that set us on a course. Okay, back in 93, 94, when RuPaul stormed the fucking headlines on MTV,
Right.
I didn't know what a drag queen was.
Yep.
I didn't know when I first saw RuPaul without his wig, without his dress and everything, and I'm like, what the fuck?
That's one ugly motherfucking man.
That's a big fucking dude.
Yeah.
And it took time to realize that, okay, this person feels this way, but doesn't want to change who they are. They may, and I've met some drag queens that are straight and some that are gay.
Right.
But they don't want to change who they are as a person.
They don't want to do the operation and
Because the person that they are on stage is their
character.
Exactly. It's their
Right.
escape.
right.
It's no different than an actor or a comedian who goes to Second City, who goes to the Groundlings, who goes to Saturday Night Live, who does this, that, and the other. They're playing characters.
Or a wrestler in their gimmick.
The Undertaker.
But he lived that gimmick for
He did.
20 plus years.
Right. Because he was keeping up the
Kayfabe.
character. He was
Right.
keeping up the kayfabe. But he's not like that. Stone Cold Steve Austin as
That's pretty much him.
Stunning Steve,
Right.
the ringmaster,
Right.
Fabulous Blondes,
No, the Hollywood Blondes.
Hollywood Blondes.
With him and
That's not him and Brian Pillman.
Right.
That's not him.
Right.
The Stone Cold persona is more in line with him.
And you look at most of the great wrestlers, their best gimmicks are them times 1,000.
Yeah.
They just turn it up. I mean, even back when we were playing, we didn't make it big by no means, but when we were on stage, we were a different person than we were when we were just hanging out.
Okay. Do you remember?
I mean, because we tried to be a little bit bigger than life.
Yeah.
And because I remember we were playing up at Nathan P. Murphy's one time. Shout out Bob if you're still around. And there was a group of girls. I mean, it was a Monday night show. There was fucking 15, 20 people there or some shit, But there's a group of girls that got up right in front of me. And I'm looking down at them, and they're like all dancing. I'm like, oh, fuck, I'm in trouble because my wife was with us.
Yeah.
And we got done with that set. We took a break. Was going back up later, and my wife's like, what the fuck are you doing? And I'm like, I ain't doing shit. She goes, no, that's the problem.
You should be.
She goes, you need to play for them. She goes, you're going home with me. But when you're on stage, you fucking play for them.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, I just needed the okay.
Right.
I didn't want to get in fucking trouble,
Right.
you know.
You
Well,
didn't.
Because there was other members of our band that would have gotten fucking trouble for that shit.
Yes.
You know.
Me not being one of them.
No. No, because you dated strippers. So.
I mean, there was the one show, the blonde girl Amy, that I started dating.
Right. The one we tried to get to be on our album cover?
Yes.
Yeah.
And she came out to the show. We were playing the Regency, and I played no shirt. I was wearing shorts. You know, I didn't have as many tattoos as I have
They
now.
were shorty shorts, too.
No.
No.
They were jorts.
Oh, okay.
But, you know, I come off stage, and we start tearing down. I put on a shirt, and I put on a hat. And to look at me, it's like, who the fuck are you? And that was like my kayfabe, if you will. On stage, I'm a no shirt, blonde hair flying fucking person.
Right.
Off stage, I'm wearing a shirt and a hat, and yeah.
I'm a roadie now.
Yeah.
Because that's what we were when we got off stage.
Exactly.
Right.
And that was my thing. When we came off stage, I wanted to tear down and pack up before anything else.
Right.
And then it's time to fucking party.
Right.
And, but, you know, when we were on stage, we were putting on a show.
Right.
The people we were on stage were not the people that we were off stage.
Right.
Actors who play a role are not who they are when they're not in that role.
I mean, speaking personally, if there'd just been a microphone and I had to got up and stood there and talked to those same crowds that we played in front of, oh, fuck no. My asshole would have puckered up and, no. But, and there was a little bit of that. There was a little bit of that before we went on every night.
Yeah.
It was kind of like, oh, fuck. I got to pee. Go pee. I need a drink. Go get a drink. Oh, I got to pee again. I peed 5 minutes ago. It was that nervous energy, you know. And then you're going up, and then you walk up. And, I mean, this is me personally. I don't know how you were, but when we would step on the stage, it was like, oh, God damn it, can we do this, you know? And then we start playing, and it just fucking went away, and it was the fucking show.
Yeah.
It was
that first song, that first chord, that first song.
First chord, you know, and even throughout the show, there'd be times I'd be like going, oh, fuck. I got a solo coming up here in about 3 measures. Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. First note. Ding. Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Found it.
But.
Well, and the thing is during our shows, you know, I had a few songs that I sang. One of them in particular, which,
God of Thunder.
Yes, yep. which we played a lot, but we also turned that into Paranoid. You know, it just flowed right into it. A few times we did Clean My Wounds by Corrosion and Conformity. Yep. And then we only did Long Haired Country Boy in practice. I don't think we ever played that. I don't think
we ever played that loud.
Because we were trying to play the
Every Mother's Nightmare.
Every Mother Nightmare version. Right. And I was trying to sing the Charlie Daniels version.
Right.
So, but we never did that one out. So, I mean, but singing somebody else's song is easy. Singing an original, that's all you.
Right.
And, I mean...
But there's 2 ways to think about that, too, because if you fuck up, if it's the first time we've played it out, nobody else has ever heard it, so they don't know if you fuck it up.
Right. Okay.
But yeah,
Um,
where it's like if you're playing a cover song and everybody's like, well, you didn't play that like fucking Leonard Skinner or whoever the fuck,
Yeah.
you know, you're like,
oh fuck! If we could pull off a Leonard Skinner song, we'd be fucking selling records.
well, we didn't have 3 guitar players, so
Yeah.
three guitar solos.
I think the greatest compliment we ever got, and I know we're going off on a tangent here. We were playing a show with a band called Bumpin' Uglies, and they did a version of Cumbersome,
right,
and theirs was more like Seven Mary 3.
right,
And they knew that we had that song in our set list. And we played it faster,
our version,
down-tuned. And, I mean, but they precursored it going into it. You're going to hear this song later on, and it's going to be better than the way that we're going to play it. And
they
of
say
course,
that?
Yes. I remember that.
Cool.
Because it was like
That was our Disturbed cover song. Because like Disturbed has done so many cover songs,
right.
like Shout and stuff that you go back and listen to the original version and you're like going, how did they think about doing that song and making it cool?
Right.
And I mean, Cumbersome. Honestly, I'd never really heard that song until Chris brought it into practice. He's like, "Hey, this, we're going to do this," and da 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 da. It's like, okay.
I had never heard that song.
And then I heard the original version after we had practiced it for a while.
Yeah.
And went,
that sucks.
and no offense, Seven Mary 3, but yeah, that sucked.
No. All the offense in the world, and I'm completely throwing it out there. But there are plenty of bands who recorded a song one way and then played it live a totally other way.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Blurry.
Perfect example. Back in 1999, I think it was, Styx was playing at the Grand Palace in Branson.
Okay.
And my wife's a big Styx fan. And I'm like, well, the tickets were like $100 a piece.
I mean, we went to Ozark Mountain Theater.
Right.
Or Ozark, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. In Camden.
Yes.
But this was, like I say, years ago. And I'm like, yeah, I've heard Styx on the radio, mostly the ballads and blah, 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 blah. But I knew she was a fan. I'm like, okay. She's been to all these metal shows with me. She's like been to our shows and everything. It's like, I'm going to take her to see Styx, one of her favorite bands. And goddamn, when I seen them live, I'm like, fuck, this is like Metallica playing Styx songs.
Right.
Like, oh, shit.
I mean, it was way fucking heavier than, it was fucking awesome.
Before I went and saw Styx, I had Dono Erigato, Mr. Rebato. No.
Oh, I've never seen that video a bunch because we just got our satellite.
And it was just wrong language. Dono Erigato, Mr. Rebato is
go with it.
Japanese.
Just go with it.
But there was the radio hits.
Okie dokie.
And then hearing Tommy Shaw with Damn Yankees.
Right.
And then seeing Styx, it's like, holy shit.
I don't know what that keyboard player was on, but I need some of it. Because that motherfucker was running around at 70, whatever the fuck years old he is. It's like, I don't know what he's on, but I need some. Whether it's human growth hormones or SRTs or whatever the fuck, I want some of that shit.
So anybody out there who's listening that would like to give us some growth hormones to...
Or just some TRT.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to sponsor J&M Solve the World, leave us a comment down below. Share,
you have
subscribe.
an email address too, don't you?
I do. It's J&M msolvetheworld@gmail.com. And I'm going to put that right here, right above Andrew's face. And it's J and the word and M solvetheworld@gmail.com. No. More in front of your face, not over your face.
Oh, well, I see where I rate. Here.
So back to the original subject. I mean,
Okay, The Birdcage. I love that fucking movie.
Mm-hmm.
Robin Williams.
right.
I mean, Robin was one of those performers that was just amazing and could get you to believe what he wanted you to believe. But I'm going to slow it down here. Those that go out of their way to make the world laugh are the ones that are hurting the most. A permanent solution to a temporary problem is never the answer.
Right.
Star 988 on your cell phone will get you in touch with somebody that will listen to you, not judge you, not tell you what you need to do, but will listen to you. Because once you talk about it and it's out there, it's open. Because a lot of times you just need somebody to talk to.
Right.
We have lost entirely too many people in this world that bring us joy to a permanent solution to a temporary problem.
Yep.
Now, religious sense, a permanent solution to a temporary problem does not get you to the
Salvation.
happy place.
Does not get you salvation.
It does not get you to the bad place. It gets you right in the middle.
Purgatory.
You never get to see one or the other.
Right.
And if you don't believe in religion, then know this. The people that you are leaving behind, you are causing more pain
Right.
that will live with them longer than your relief will
Right.
ever be.
Yeah. And like I say, if you're non-religious and you feel like that, once this is over, you're just worm food, whatever, da da da. But do you want your daughter or your son to walk into that room where you blew your brains out and have that vision in their head for the rest of their life?
Or hanging or anything like that. Let me help you out there. Let me get you hard again.
No.
But I mean, you got to think about that shit. What are you leaving behind?
Right. I personally, I've talked to somebody, and I've helped a lot of people out, just being an ear.
Right. That's
I personally never. I could have done it so many times, and nobody would ever think differently about it. Whether I was in Iraq, I was in Afghanistan, or I was in Afghanistan, and what the hell?
I don't know. I left mine in the other room.
Really? Jesus. It's not even a fucking weather alert.
Yeah.
But
Sorry about that.
no, it's
That was-
probably my phone too.
Yeah, sorry. And the reason I turned my phone down was, the mic down was because
You don't have any comment? Or you would prefer not to comment?
right, exactly.
Um,
Don't hold that against me.
Nope. I mean,
If I said you had a beautiful body, would you hold it against me?
You? Hell no.
That's not what I
I
heard.
like you, but,
He's hugged me before.
I bet you guys were shirtless too, weren't you?
Maybe.
you don't need to know about that. You don't need to know about that. Sorry.
Oh, that's right, because what happens under the fez stays under the fez, huh?
Exactly. And one of these days, you will know that.
I mean, maybe so.
He's scared.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah, I'm
He's
scared.
He's scared.
I'm scared.
He's scared.
I will say, I wish I'd done it 10 years sooner than I did.
I'm just.
Well, you waited a year after I gave you a fucking app.
Well, I was trying to get that money up,
Try to get that $100 up.
Yeah. I worked at Tracker Marine, Tracker Marine, okay, I may be saying...
I mean, you said their name twice. I've never mentioned once the company I work for.
Exactly, so...
No, he don't work for him anymore. He just said they didn't pay shit.
Oh.
That's why it took him a year to get $100.
Well...
Giving plasma only pays out so much.
Yeah.
I have never given plasma, so...
He tried sperm donors, and there's like, no.
No, I know better than that, so guess what?
I'm not going to lie. I fucking sold my plasma big as shit when I got my 4th anthrax shot.
I've never sold plasma either, so...
Because they were paying big money because they couldn't get the anthrax vaccination. And when you're given this series of anthrax shots in the military before going to Iraq,
Did that get you backstage at Anthrax?
God, I wish it would have.
Wrong anthrax.
But no, I like my first, because we were able to do it 4 times in a month, and the first time was $175. The second time was 75, 75, and then 150. I'm sorry. As long as you are hydrated, properly hydrated, $75 for about an hour's worth of work.
Right.
You show me a fucking job that's better than that.
Right. Well, Elon Musk. Yeah, but besides that,
Elon's already rich.
Right.
And he may be earning $75 a second or, whatever. But anyways.
He's getting my $110 a month for his internet. So
yeah. Anyways, I digress. But anybody that's persecuting drag shows
right,
because they're harmful to children,
right,
I have one question for you. Why the fuck are your children going to a bar?
Right. Exactly. Well, it's like I've said for years. Whenever Don Imus got banned off of radio for making his comment about this college basketball team looked like a bunch of nappy-headed hoes or something like that. That was his quote, not mine. But he got banned off, and then there was a radio guy, and I can't remember his fucking name, but he was from Kansas City, Missouri. He's a black guy. And he was going, well, he said, I don't know about Don Imus, but it's this whole hip-hop mentality and these young people doing this hip-hop mentality, and I think they need to ban this hip-hop mentality and blah, 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 blah.
No.
And I said something to my boss about it, and he goes, yeah, I think they should ban hip-hop. And I'm like, no. I said, wait a second. I said, wait the fucking second. They tried to ban heavy metal music back in the 80s. I said, I'm sorry. It's art.
Yeah.
You can't ban artistic. If you don't like it, don't fucking listen to it. I said, I'm not a big fan of hip hop, but I don't think they need to ban it.
Right.
I don't think they need to ban heavy metal. I mean, because you go back in history, they wanted to ban Elvis.
Yep.
And they did on what's his name show where they only viewed him from the waist up.
Ed Sullivan.
Ed Sullivan.
The Ed Sullivan show, you know.
And
They told the Doors, you can't say, take me higher.
Right.
And he did. They're like, oh, you're bad. Well, you know what? That made him even bigger.
Well, see, and here's the thing. All the people that wanted to ban Elvis were Christian groups. Mm-hmm. Do you know where Elvis earned his only 2 Grammys?
Christian.
Gospel music.
Gospel music. Yep.
Let that sink in for you.
He got his style from the black Christian churches in Memphis.
Mississippi.
Right.
Because he grew up in Tupelo, Mississippi.
Tupelo, Mississippi. But, yeah, he'd go to those churches.
Yep.
And that's where he got his style of music. That was basically R&B.
Right.
That Elvis started that turned into rock and roll. So.
And, you know there's a lot that will say that Elvis stole the black man's music. He stole the music. Just another black man or another white man stealing somebody else's stuff. But here's the thing. Just like we talked about before, history in the 1950s, if it wasn't according to entertainment, if it wasn't white, it wasn't right. Mm-hmm. Elvis brought that music to the forefront in white America.
Right.
In middle of America. Mm-hmm. Now, you're New York, California, you're getting that urban, that black, that Latino music.
St. Louis, you had the blues scene back then, too.
Right. But it was very underground.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right.
Because they were all black blues players.
Right.
Amazing black blues players.
Exactly.
Amazing blues players, period.
Period. Right.
Yes, Andrew.
Okay, question.
Answer.
You ban one type of music, that's the same as banning, okay, we need to ban these, AR-15s.
Censorship.
You ban one type of music or a gun that is not military.
Yeah.
Okay. I was at...
Andy's going there.
And I'm going to say this. I was at May Station, and somebody said that they need to ban the AR-15. And an old boy that is, has passed away, John Robert Smith. He was a old boy that would be at the funeral home when somebody passed away. Okay.
Mortician, funeral director.
He was
undertaker.
With them. I don't know what his title was, but he was at a funeral home in Bolivar. Okay. And he said, you ban one gun, you ban all of them. And that's the same way with music. You ban one style of music, you'd best ban all of them. And, I'm sorry, I don't agree with that.
I don't agree with that just because
I may not agree with hip hop or, gangster rap, whatever. And I'm sorry, fellas, that I may be going off on tangent, but
you bring up a good point.
But
I don't.
You ban one style of music, you best ban them all.
Right.
Or you say that we need to ban, an AR-15. An AR-15 is not military. Armor light rifle, 15, which is similar to a M16. Am I right?
You are.
similar to not.
It's not a fully automatic rifle.
All right. Okay. I may be going off on a tangent here. If I am,
Well, okay.
Went down that rabbit hole now. So
So
if I am, then
okay.
then
Here's the big difference.
if I need to be banned for a
No.
week or so, tell me.
we're gonna,
In
we're gonna ban
M16.
you, Andy.
Okay.
An M16
I'm just
has
saying.
a rifle length gas system and a fixed buttstock. An AR or a CAR 15, if you will, AR 15 has a carbon length gas system and an adjustable buttstock.
So
It's
AR
still a 16-inch barrel,
okay.
but where an M16 the buttstock is fixed, it's not moving. An AR-15 that buttstock moves in 3 positions. Boom, 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 boom.
Okay. So
The gas tube on an AR-15 is only about this long.
okay.
An M16, it's rifle length, so it goes almost the full length of the barrel.
Okay.
Those are the main differences between an AR-15 and an M16. Now, during Vietnam, when the M16 was introduced to the United States military, it was semi or full auto. The CAR 15, the AR 15, was used mainly by special forces units because they were shorter, they were easier to jump in, and easier for room clearing.
Okay.
Again, they were also fully automatic. Now, the magazines at that time, the most you could get out of a magazine for those 2 weapons is a 20-round magazine. During the Battle of Way City, during the Tet Offensive in 1966, 2nd Battalion, 5th Marines, that one battalion expended over 1 billion, that's with a B, 5.56 rounds out of their M16s
Okay.
during that one battle.
Okay.
Post-Vietnam is when your 3-round burst came into effect because so much was wasted because when you shoot a full auto, if you don't have the right compensator or muzzle brake or flash hider or whatever on it, it's just going to walk up. It's going to walk up. A 3-round burst on an M16 does this. Boom, boom, boom. No matter how much you have it gripped and you have it tight, it's going to walk up.
Walk up.
Right.
Okay.
I digress.
I'm sorry that I went through there, but
well,
you ban one gun. I don't give a shit if it's a 22 pistol or rifle. You ban one gun, you need to ban all of them.
Australia banned all firearms.
I have to disagree with you on the interpretation between music and art and guns.
Well, okay.
Because that's a totally different subject.
Well,
First Amendment versus Second Amendment.
but
Right. I mean,
it's similar.
it's really not. It's really not because
You banned one type of music, metal or blues or country or you ban one, you best ban all the other ones because
okay, but that's an art. That really has nothing to do with firearms.
Well, okay, I get what Andy's saying.
Right.
If you're going to ban one music, you need to ban all musics. If you're going to ban one gun, you need to ban all guns. You can't
that's
pick
what
and
I'm
choose.
saying. Now, if
Much
I'm
like
wrong,
in the 70s, the German Shepherd was the big scary dog.
And then the Doberman
And then in the
Pinscher.
80s, it was the Dobie.
And
In the
then the
90s
Rottweiler.
is the Rottie.
And then
And
the
then
pit
they-
And now,
bulls.
Pit bulls,
right, it's pits.
Right.
when pit
That's what I'm
bulls were
getting.
known.
And I got a pity in there to lick your face off.
Yeah,
Well,
Not bite your face off. He'll lick your face off.
pitties.
And I think you said it last week. Whenever Sully was rubbing on him, you're like, that is the it was the little dogs.
Yeah.
We're fucking with him, and you're like, he is the most easygoing fucking dog
Yeah.
I've ever seen in my life.
I mean,
Right.
you've got your little tweaker dog who lays on top of him.
Right.
Now, granted, if you don't see his face, you would think it was just a growth because they're both black and white.
Exactly. It's like, damn, Herc, you got cancer growing out on your side there? What the fuck?
Right.
That's what I'm getting at. You ban one on anything. It doesn't matter. Guns or music or whatever. That's what I'm getting at.
Well,
If I'm wrong, tell me. I will shut the hell up.
no, you're not wrong. I'm just saying there's a difference between art and firearms.
Well,
There is.
It's
Okay.
like
my bad.
several years ago when our Lieutenant Governor Ashcroft wanted to cover up the statues in Jefferson City because their penises and shit were showing. You might not have been here. You might have been overseas at that time, but he was like,
Thank God.
he was like wanting to cover up the statues in Jeff City, because there's naked statues in Jeff City, It's like, seriously?
Yeah.
I moved.
Well,
Why? Because their dicks were bigger than yours?
I remember seeing.
No.
I remember
If you went
seeing.
there,
Yeah.
I remember seeing bullshit come across the news feed of, like,
I remember the first nudity.
People talking out
the
against-
the first nudity I ever seen in my life was in our Holy Bible. There's pictures, the cherubs and the topless. You know what I'm saying?
I get what you're throwing down.
Yeah.
I was thinking more along the lines of National Geographic.
Well, yeah, that
And,
too. But that's okay because they were black, and so as white people, we could look at them in school, and it was okay.
Yeah, but
That's how
many
fucked up it
National
was back in the 70s.
how many National
I mean,
Geographic magazines
honestly-
found their way into the bathrooms?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. But in the 70s, in the 80s, if you'd have got caught with the Playboy in school, you'd have got kicked out. Mm-hmm. But no, there was National Geographics right there in the library
Big old beautiful
with
black
with
boobies.
naked black women, naked black men. But apparently that was okay because they were black and we were white, and that was okay.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
Let me
But-
look
but-
at this
but-
magazine in the library that's going to make me feel inferior
Right.
for the rest of my life.
Exactly. But if you had a Playboy in there with a naked white woman, oh God, you're suspended. What the fuck?
You're going to hell.
know.
All right.
We're,
On that note, I think we've gone from the.
we could take this into an after dark.
Oh my God, we've went from drag queens and the drag shit all the way around, and
Honestly, the drag shit, I don't have a problem with.
no, I don't.
I mean,
Look, I don't have
if
a
they're-
problem
if
with
they're-
anybody.
If they're teaching it in school, I have a problem.
Yeah,
But you got to do what you can do. I mean,
look, if
if Bud Light wanted to give us $20 million to go on tour, and they said, the only deal is we got this guy that's a drag queen. He's a hell of a fucking drummer. He's got to be your drummer.
okay,
And this other guy, he's a drag queen, but he's a hell of a rhythm guitar
Okay.
player, lead guitar player, whatever. And we want to bring back Blindside. Yeah, we're on the fucking road.
how many times do I gotta say okay?
Yep. Yeah.
I'm
It's like, Kevin, I love you, but I'm going on tour.
yeah.
I'm dressed in drag. If you don't want to show your friends, that's okay, but we're selling out shit.
Hey, bro. I'm gonna look like Kathy Bates in American Horror Story as the bearded woman because my daughter's already told me I can't shave, unfortunately. But on that note, you have just listened to another episode of Stu Ham Productions Presents
J&M, Solve the World. I have been James.
And I have been Matt. On behalf of Ray, and until
Andy, as he would say, Ray, or
It looks like Bullwinkle.
and his microphone's off. I don't know what happened.
do what?
You keep one fist in the gold, one foot in the gutter, and we will be seeing you.
Rock out with your cock out.